Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov clashed Thursday indirectly with US Secretary of State Antony Blinken at an annual security meeting, accusing the West of risking escalation over Ukraine, but walking out before Blinken and other speakers could respond. Speaking at the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe ministerial meeting in Malta, Lavrov accused the West of reviving the Cold War and provoking a direct conflict with Russia. He said the US actions were driven by a desire to return NATO to the political spotlight. After the Afghan disgrace, there was a need for a new common enemy, Lavrov said during his first stop in an EU nation since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. The result is the reincarnation of the Cold War, but now with the far greater risk of its escalation into the hot phase. Blinken, who spoke after Lavrov left the room, put the blame for escalation in the region back on Russia, noting that the Russian foreign minister, the fourth speaker, did not stick around to listen to other speakers. Let's talk about escalation, Blinken said, citing the deployment of North Korean forces in Europe, the use of an intermediate-range ballistic missile to attack Ukraine, Russia's move to lower the threshold for the use of nuclear weapons, and attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Mr. Lavrov spoke about the sovereign right of every member state to make their own choices, Blinken said. That's exactly what this is about, the sovereign right of Ukraine and the Ukrainian people to make their own choices about the future, not to have those choices made in and by Moscow. Ukraine's Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha, who was the first to address the panel, walked out as Lavrov took the podium, along with the foreign ministers of Poland and Estonia. Before leaving the podium, Ukraine's Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha called his Russian counterpart Sergey Lavrov a war criminal. Ukraine continues to fight for its right to exist, and the Russian war criminal at this table, Lavrov, should know this: Ukraine will succeed and justice will prevail. The visit marked Lavrov's first visit to an EU member nation since the start of the Russian invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. It has been relatively rare for Lavrov to attend forums involving senior Western officials, although he recently took part in the United Nations General Assembly and the G20 summit in Brazil. Russia's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova said on her message app that Malta had annulled her visa to accompany Lavrov. The Maltese Foreign Affairs Office said that 3 OSCE member countries had objected to extending the visa to Zakharova, who is under a travel ban. Lavrov is subjected to EU sanctions but faces no travel ban.
Russian army units stationed in Syria have started to withdraw towards the capital Damascus after the capture Hama city by the rebels. The officers of the Russian army headed to the capital mainly with Ka-52 and Mi-8 helicopters. The relevant images have been distributed on local Telegram channels. The helicopters were targeted by rebels with various weapons. Sources close to the rebels claim that along with Assad's army, the Russian army also fled in battles with the rebels. Earlier, a large number of armored fighting equipment and weapons belonging to the Russian army were seized from the military bases captured by the rebels. It should be noted that Syrian rebels are advancing towards Hama city in the south, after capturing key Aleppo and Hama cities in the week-long fighting with Bashar al-Assad's forces. Thousands of people fled from the strategic city as the northern part of the city has been fully captured by Syrian insurgents. Syrian opposition forces have captured the country's fourth-largest city Hama after fierce battles with Bashar al-Assad's forces. The government forces stated on Thursday that they had to retreat after the insurgents penetrated several parts of the city. The leader of an opposition group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS, Abu Muhammad al-Jilani, declared that opposition forces had full control over the strategic city. The insurgents entered the strategically important hub of Hama after intense fighting with government forces on its outskirts. Our heroic people in Homs, your time has come, a spokesperson for the rebels said Thursday. Hama is the second major city to be captured by Syrian rebels in their week-long offensive. Earlier, opposition fraction led by Hayat Tahrir al-Sham captured the country's second-largest western city of Aleppo. Located at key crossroads in western central Syria, Hama provides direct supply line between the capital Damascus and Aleppo. The chief of UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, Rami Abdurrahman, earlier said that, if Hama falls, it means that the beginning of the regime's fall has started. It should be noted that Hama is one of the cities that remained under Bashar al-Assad's control during Syria's civil war, which erupted in 2011.
من وين حضرتك؟ من وين حضرتك واحكي؟ خلصنا من حماه، الله يهده، خلصنا منه، الله يحرق قلبه، 1500 مع انه نيمنا كل 50 واحد بغرفه، الله يحرق قلبه، الله يحرق قلبه مثل ما حرق قلبه العالم. الله يوفقكم ويثبت خطاكم، ويوفقكم ان شاء الله للنصر للشام. ان شاء الله يا رب. ان شاء الله. باذن الله. هنا من داخل السجن المركزي. الله أكبر، تركينها شغالة. الله أكبر من بوابة حماة.